throughout halls of a Four Seasons loft. In Austin, I stalled, paused. My eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, in paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, in paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams.
In paradise. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. We'll be talking with my boy Drew Henthorn today. And I'm excited about that. Also, we're going to talk about soccer. Of course, I'm wearing my USA jersey, which should give you an indication that we beat Panama last night. And we'll be talking about a little bit of soccer. We're going to talk about some NBA basketball. We're going to talk about some NFL football. And, of course, we will be talking about the Final Four, men's and women's, and what we think about that. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, let's get into I watched the game last night, and I know some of y'all are soccer fans. I don't know how many of you guys are, but I'm a huge soccer fan. I've become more and more excited, especially with the women's national team kind of got me, I guess, into it. And the men have always been disappointing since I can remember. But I'm excited about this year's team, what they're doing, and, of course, Christian Pulisic, which is just he's just a monster. I mean, he's an absolute monster. So, but anyway, let's go in there and talk about that. The U.S. and men's soccer, of course, we beat Panama 5-1, and Pulisic was just amazing. He had a hat trick last night. We do play Costa Rica on Wednesday, which I hope everybody get a chance to tune in and watch that. There won't be any NCAA basketball to kind of keep you from watching that or taking your attention away from that. So, but anyway, it's going to be a big, huge game. We can't afford to lose by more than 6 games or 6 goals, which I'm sure is going to be okay because when you look at the standings right now, when we play when we play them, we're pretty much right there. They're 3 points behind us. They've got 6 wins. Of course, we have 7, which is kind of weird if you'll notice the way this is. I had to switch it back up because in World Cup, what they do is you do points, wins, draws, losses. Where in the United States, we're more worried about wins, losses, and draws. But since this is the biggest sport in the world, we're going to go by and do it kind of what they do. Now, Canada has been absolutely crazy, surprising this year with their team and what they've done. And then, of course, we're tied with Mexico, which we should have beat them, one of our arch rivals who we necessarily don't really like each other really well. But then you see Costa Rica there right below us. And then, of course, we beat Panama 5-1. But when you go back and you think about this game that's coming up and how important it is that we tie, or I want us to win because I think that we don't need to be below Mexico. I think we need to win because it's going to help with our seeding. I believe it's Friday is the actual seeding when they do the World Cup seeding this coming Friday. So I think we definitely need to win Wednesday to put us up and to get us a better seed. We don't need to come out and play Brazil right off the bat or something like that. Which surprisingly, Italy did not make it this year for the first time in I don't know how many years, 50 years or something ridiculous. That they didn't make it, but we don't need to play France or Brazil or Germany or something like that right off the bat. So this will be an important match for us. I think we need to come back. We definitely need to win. We definitely don't need to give up lose by more than 6 goals, and then we're automatically in to qualifying for the World Cup, which I'm sure that's going to get done. I'm not really that concerned about that, but I think it's important. And, a lot of people say that they're not really concerned about soccer. Well, when you look at this country and what's going on, soccer is pretty much one of the fastest growing sports in America. Now, clearly, football is one. Then basketball is two. Baseball is a distant third. And then soccer's coming. Soccer is coming, people. More and more athletes, and Drew Henthorn, which about, of course, Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. He'll be over later. We're going to talk about his picks for tonight, and then the upcoming picks for the Final Four, which, of course, his beloved Heels made it, so he's all fired up about, ooh, North Carolina Heels, whatever. So anyway, we'll talk about that. But soccer is slowly catching baseball. And I believe within 5 to 10 years it'll catch baseball and probably pass it. Because as I was saying, we're discussing that more and more athletes are starting to play soccer. They're growing up at a younger age. And soccer is what they're playing because more and more parents are keeping their kids from playing tackle football. So what does that really leave you? Basketball, baseball. And more kids are starting to pick soccer because baseball is let's face it, baseball is boring. I do like baseball. I was a better baseball player than I was basketball. But I just love basketball because it was more exciting. Baseball, I played center field because I was fast, had a good arm, but it's just a slower game. Where soccer and today's kids, everybody wants everything now. So what does that leave you? Basketball, football, and soccer because there's always something going down. Now, it is slower. Once you understand what's going on, it's fine. But soccer does take a while because there's not a lot of scoring. It's back and forth. So once you understand how the game is played, it becomes more and more interesting to you. And I really like it. But like I said, I started out with the women's national team is what got me involved, watching soccer, getting more and more involved. And, of course, Oklahoma City has the OKC Energy, which I think their schedule is coming up. We will be following them and posting information about their energy and about what's coming up with them. So we'll be talking about that. But anyway, I'm just excited about our team that we got that win to make sure that we're pretty much 90% in. And like I said, unless we lose by 6 goals or more against Panama or against Costa Rica on Wednesday, we should be in. And I don't see that happening. But anything's possible. But the nice 5-1 and Christian Pulisic, of course, getting the hat trick, his first in international competition, and us winning 5-1. So that was exciting. I'm pretty pumped up about that. As you can see, I do have on my USA Soccer men's jersey. And I don't know if you noticed when I did do the USA men's soccer that Pelosi and I have the same jersey on that he has. So that's kind of why I used that photo, of course. And thank you again to my boy Jose Fierro for hooking me up with that. So, but anyway, now let's get into it, talk about a little bit more about football and what's happening here. The Baker Mayfield saga continues. He had 4 years of it. Clearly, the Cleveland Browns were over his antics and over what he's doing. And like I said, when he was at the University of Oklahoma, the stupid stuff that he was doing, I was like, you need to stop that. You need to put a lid on it. You need to curtail his activity. And like I said, he was always a more athletic or more skilled Johnny Manziel. That's who Baker was to me. I said that years ago when he was at OU. That's what he reminded me of. Little dude, running his mouth, acting like a fool, doing a bunch of stupid stuff. But because he was at the University of Oklahoma and they were winning and he was on a national stage and he never got checked. And like a lot of OU fans got mad at me when I was talking about when he planted the deal at Ohio State. Really? The University of Alabama, that would have never happened. But I also believe under Bob Stoops' watch, that would not have happened. But because Lincoln Riley had just gotten there, I don't know how much he really was in control of Baker at that point because, remember, he came in as the offensive coordinator and Stoops was the coach for Baker at the beginning. So I don't know, but that would have never happened. You're the University of Oklahoma. You're one of the top 5 programs in the history of college football. You don't do that. You go win. Regardless of what Ohio State did the year before and all that nonsense, you're the University of Oklahoma. You act like it. You don't throw balls at people's heads. You're the quarterback of the University of Oklahoma. You don't give the bird. You don't grab your crotch. You're the quarterback for the University of Oklahoma. You don't do that stuff. But it was Baker, and people just, oh, it's Baker, let it go. Now look what happens. You get to the league, and you've got away with all that nonsense. And now you get to the league, all of a sudden you're not playing well. Now, granted, I believe that Baker should have had the surgery. I do not think he should have played through it. I get why he did to show him, look how tough I am, and, I could get us through this, and it made him look 10 times worse. And then the social media and the other stuff he was doing did look good. So the owner today denied the fact that he said they wanted an adult in the room at the quarterback. I don't think Chris Mortensen would lie and say that somebody didn't say that, and whether that was the owner, Haslam, or not, that's debatable. But I don't think this guy is going to lie about something like that. And I think Baker believed it. That's why Baker said what he said. But Baker, you're not better than Deshaun Watson. Sorry, you're not. So, yeah, I get it. They wanted a better quarterback. They looked at what their team is. This team is built to win. You have arguably the best offensive line in football. You've got two great running backs and Kareem Hunt. So you got great running backs. Then you turn around, and then your defense with Myles Garrett is one of the best. He's probably arguably the best defensive end in football right now. You have a decent passing game. You just got Amari Cooper. Now, whether Amari's going to stay healthy or not, that remains to be seen. He didn't stay healthy when he was with the Raiders, didn't stay healthy when he's with the Cowboys. I'm not a fan of his. When you take yourself out of a game at the end of a game, you lose respect for me right there. You're on the road in New England. You got to win a game, and you take yourself out because you're mad because you can't get open with this guy. You're one of the best receivers in the football. And he took you right out of the game. Really? So I lost a little respect from Amari right there, but he is one of the best route runners in the NFL, and he is one of the best players. But it just bothers me a little bit. Baker's not horrible, but whenever something like this happens, there's always something that we don't know about in the public. Always. There's something he's done. There's something he said. There's something that he's done in the quarterback room or in the locker room or whatever. We don't hear everything that goes on. But it's interesting that not one player from the Browns locker room has defended him. Now, granted, I get the Odell Beckham thing with him and the split, whatever. I kind of understand that. But now, you don't have one guy come out in support of you? Not one? Not one of your offensive linemen? Not one of your running backs? Not somebody on defense? Not somebody your tight end? Nobody? That tells you something about how people feel about him in the locker room. But that being said, he's better than Marcus Mariota at Atlanta. Well, what does that tell me? Hey, Atlanta's in the tank. They're saying, hey, we're not going to win any games. We're going to go because the quarterback draft class this year is coming out is ridiculous with talent. So Atlanta, clearly, they're all in for either Bryce Young or Caleb Williams, clearly, or whomever else they want to pick. But clearly those two are the best two coming out. So that's where their head is at. When you look at Seattle, Baker is a run-first guy, pass-off play action. Pete Carroll loves to run the football. He's old school. Great fit for him. Drew Lock is there. Trying to tell me Baker Mayfield not better than Drew Lock? Yeah. Is he better than what Carolina has? Yes. Is he better than Matt Ryan? I would say probably yes, because Matt Ryan's on the farther side of his career now, but he did go to a Super Bowl, choked to the Patriots, but he did go. So when you look at those things, I'm just sitting here and I'm just baffled by it. On the other side of that, I get why they took Deshaun. And Drew and I had a conversation about Deshaun because right after they did it, somebody else came out and was like, oh, blah, blah, he did this. Second grand jury. And no evidence here, no way. Now, What I said then is still stand by it. 22 women, there's got to be something there of something. I don't know exactly what, but 22. But the problem is, none of the girls wanted to, most of the girls did not want to get in front of the camera or get in front of a criminal deal. Why? Because it's his said, she said, most of it. But some guys are entitled. They at least think they're entitled to do whatever they want. And it just blows me away because there's so many women out there who don't care if you touch them and allow you to do whatever you want. But when a woman says no, no is no, no. But guys don't. They just think I'm whomever and I can do whatever I want. Is that to say that Deshaun Watson did that? I'm not here to judge. I don't know. All I know is you had two grand juries convened, and both of them said, no, we're not going to indict him. Civil, of course, is a completely different thing. And, of course, he's going to probably have to pay some money there because there's different outline and different points of what you got to approve and not approve. But now they're looking at this big, huge contract, and they're coming after him, and he's not going to make that money for a while. He's not making that money right now. So if you're trying to go after future earnings, that's not going to happen. And most people, when they get in front of these attorneys, we'll see what happens when they get deposed. But to say for Deshaun to come out and say, I didn't touch any woman I do, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second. But that's him saying that. I don't think he needed to say that in that press conference. He could have let that go. But, of course, what do we see with people all the time that are famous or whatever? No, 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 I didn't do that, I didn't do that, I didn't do that, I didn't do that. And it comes out in the end, yes, you did. But Deshaun, on the other hand, he's got the opportunity to redeem himself this coming year. Now, the NFL is going to suspend him. There's no question. And I think he's going to get 6 games. That's kind of what I think. That's kind of what I feel based on the other two, what happened with Ben Roethlisberger and Kareem Hunt. So I think he's going to get 6 games. That's kind of what I think. Even though I think Kareem Hunt still was far worse because we had video of him kicking a woman. You kicked her, dude, in the hotel hallway. We saw it. That to me was, you don't put your hands on a woman. Ever. You don't put your hands on a woman ever. That's unacceptable to me. You don't do that. You don't put your hands on them in any kind of way. So that's a bunch of crap. For him to do that, Kareem Hunt, I think it was far worse what he did, but that's just me. And then on the other side, you've got, so that's my sit with Deshaun. But Jimmy G, dude, how do you go have surgery and you don't tell your employer you're having surgery? How you do that? Well, yeah, hell, I don't want to pay you $25 million either. I can free that up to get that done. Oh, hey, looks like we are joined by my boy Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com.
Hey,
What's up, brother? How you doing?
North Carolina.
Oh no, we ain't talking. We not on that right now. We will get to that in the second part of the show. All right, but right now we're talking about NFL football. I don't want to hear nothing about your. I don't want to hear nothing about your damn heels. Okay, we'll talk about them. That ugly ass. Well, that's some pretty ass blue. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Right now, I don't think you heard me. We're talking about Jimmy G and how do you have labrum surgery and don't tell your team? What the hell is that?
Yeah. That's got to be a prerequisite, isn't it?
You would think. You would think. And now the 49ers are stuck with nobody wants to trade for him now because he's not going to get
Baker. They can get Baker.
Well, we talked about Baker too. I just got off the subject with Baker about how it just blows me away that nobody wants him. But like I was saying, all the antics that he did at the University of Oklahoma, they didn't curtail that back then. So by letting him run free and do all the stupid stuff at the University of Oklahoma, while the OU fans are like, "Oh, it's Baker." Blah. No, dude, that ain't cool. You don't want you're the University of Oklahoma, top 5 program in the history of college football. That guy represents you, and you think that's okay. That's the culture of winning above everything. But anyway, Baker, nobody wants him. And I was talking about how the owner came out today and said that he denies that he said that they wanted an adult in the room at quarterback. I don't think Chris Mortensen would have lied about that. I think that he may or may not have said it, but somebody close up there in his office or in his arena, his area said
But
it.
it looked like he was relegated to the fact that he doesn't know what he's going to do. Did you see that little clip of him at the golf tournament this weekend?
Yes, I did.
He's like, you know it's more than I do.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you know what?
I'll just sit.
Keep your damn mouth shut, Baker. The problem with him,
Let your agent do your talking.
Yeah, he's got little man syndrome. But the question is, are they going to pay him 18 or no? What has he got? Almost 19 million?
Mm-hmm. When do they got to tell him by?
That's coming up in the next right after the draft, I believe. It's like pretty soon. Well,
the draft is what, 23rd?
23rd. So it's probably somewhere around there, 1st of May, right before OTAs. They're going to have to make their final roster. But I thought most of the teams would have already done that and said, okay, here's the new season. And the new season begins whenever that is he going to be on the roster or not? And we need to look that up and check that out. But
that's an expensive backup quarterback.
Yes, it is. But you got to remember also, Deshaun's not going to play for 6 games.
Play the first 8 games.
Yeah, 6 to 8 games. He won't play.
Games,
so this may
really
be.
You're looking at about $2 million a game.
And this may be an opportunity for Baker.
Yeah.
He's
well,
healthy.
If you're Cleveland, you pay him and you hope he goes out there and just kills it. Then you can trade him to somebody that has an injured quarterback.
Yep,
which always happens.
And let's face it, I was talking about Atlanta. They're clearly in the I'm going to tank mode. Clearly. Marcus Mariota is your quarterback.
If you're Dallas, I'd keep an open eye out for him. Dallas is one play away from Dak not playing again.
Yep.
I mean, I don't care how you spin it. They are one play away from him being
done. And he's a Texas boy.
Yep.
So, and plus those Texas people would probably love the fact that Baker coming home playing for their beloved Cowboys.
They would love it.
But, Jerry and I were probably sitting back going, go ahead and cut him so we can get him for nothing.
Right. As a backup that year and have him backing up Dak.
Well, I mean, who is the backup in Dallas right now anyway? Do they have anybody worth a damn? Or what's his name?
It's that redheaded guy. I can't remember his name. He beat the Vikings last year. I remember that.
What is his name?
Rush.
Yeah, Rush. It's Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush. That's sad. He's a backup quarterback. Oh, wait. Do we know who backup quarterbacks are? Unless you're famous, you're sitting on a bench. It's like, who the hell are you and why are you the backup? Something like that. But anyway, all right, Drew, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to jump right into our Lakers losing again.
Unbelievable.
Giving up 41 points in the third quarter.
22-point lead at the half.
Unbelievable, dude. Played as best as they could.
Russ had to come out and jinx it and say it felt like a playoff game. Good
oh,
Lord,
God. Oh, anyway, we're going to take a quick break, everybody, and then we're going to read right back, and then Drew and I are going to get into deep about the Lakers NBA basketball and, of course, the NCAA and his heels. So, hey, take your time, everybody. We'll be right back. Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Unpopular Hour. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. I'm here with my boy, Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. And but anyway, let's continue our discussion about our Lakers and what the hell is going on.
Man, I was in such a good mood, too, about 6:30 yesterday, and decided I'd take my coins and put them on the Lakers to catch a 4.5 on 3 days rest.
Right? Wow. Yeah, it was unbelievable, man.
Implosion.
Unbelievable. And then LeBron's ankle injury looked pretty bad, but he said he's going to come back and play. And, he's got to for the Lakers to make it. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're basically they got a game and a half lead over San Antonio for the last spot.
Right. And I just don't dude, it's a struggle. Now, like LeBron, if you look at him, everybody talked about, remember, he was great because he was in the East. And then he comes out to the Lakers, and this is 3 out of 4 years he didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, and one, he got a bubble title.
Yep, so...
I mean, I'll take it as a Laker fan. I will count it. But if you weren't a Laker fan, it's a bubble title.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. We count all titles, bro. Hey, we ain't cutting nothing back. We tied with that ugly-ass green Celtics.
But I understand the back end of it, that if I was not a Laker fan, I would not count it. So.
Well, you know what? Do you count Toronto's? I mean, because let's face it. Kevin Durant and Thompson hurt. Do they beat Golden State? No way.
No way.
They get murdered. So do you count that? Everybody counts Toronto's, so I'm counting the Lakers. Now, by the way, bro, check this out.
Hey, hold on.
Drew.
Let's not kid you out.
Hey, hold on now. Now, I got something for you. Okay? So when Zero gets traded, you have to watch. I tagged you on the you're tagged on your Facebook, so the show is. But I'm getting ready to show you something right now, brother. Look what I got you.
Can't see it.
I know you can't. Now, I'm keeping this one. But I'm giving you that one.
Oh, boy. I didn't see what it is.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be funny. When you pull it up on your phone and when you get a chance to, and you're going to watch it on the show on your page. I'm keeping that one. Don't ask for it. All right, I don't want to hear it. And by the way, your purple Kobe hoodie, I'm hooking you up with your purple Kobe hoodie so you get off my back about that shit. But anyway, okay. Now, on the other side of the coast, but let's talk about LeBron's deal.
Hold on, let's finish this Laker conversation.
Yeah, we are.
Let's not kid ourselves that even if they get in as a 10, they're not beating the T-Wolves in 2 out of 3. They're not going to. It's not going to happen.
No.
They're done.
They don't match up with them at all.
Hang them up.
It's just anything can happen. We might get hot. Might not play LeBron.
What is AD doing? I mean, is he just done for the year? I mean, Lord.
I think he is.
Yeah, I mean, just go ahead and say he's done.
I mean, or are they holding it? But the whole thing is, it's kind of like Kyrie. You come back and you get beat your first home game. You get to play at home. You get beat. You shoot terrible. And is the same thing going to happen with KD when you come back? Are you going to do the same thing? Are you going to be non-existent?
But he's going to need a couple of games to get going.
You would think.
You can't just bring him back in the play-in game and say, hope he plays 35 minutes and scores 28 points.
Yeah, because there's
that's
only
not going to work.
How many games is left? 8? 7? 8? Now we do. Now you look at the schedule. You play the Thunder late in the year, and let's face it, the Thunder pretty much just going. I mean, SGA didn't play the other night. I mean, it's like, guys, come on.
Yeah, they've melded in. They're just letting the young guys play now.
That's exactly what we're doing. I mean, we've got a G League team out there now. I will say,
which is smart on their part. I mean, you need to get those guys some run.
So you can get a trade for them.
You're gonna have a completely different looking team next year at OKC.
Well, the thing is this: long as these guys aren't playing again next year, I'm golden. Get me some damn. I need some 3-and-D guys. I need some guys who can shoot the 3-and-D.
These are basically a talent show here. They're just putting these guys out as trade bait. See if they got anything they can trade out in summer.
Hey Drew, well, how many damn trade picks? Hey, how many picks do we need?
I don't know. A lot.
We got a lot now. Do something with what you got. Hey, there's a ton of talent out there right now in college basketball. There's some good bigs and there's some shooters.
Draft.
Yes, dude. I'm sorry. And by the way, the Lakers on the other side too. We have no draft picks.
Nope.
I mean, it's done. So.
Your only hope is that you can trade Westbrook for some picks.
Which I don't think that's going to happen. I think
trade back to OKC and get some picks.
Hey, why would you say that? No, I do not want him back here. No, we've seen all the Russell we need to see. We don't need to see no more of him.
In Russ, you trust.
Oh,
Get him back in there.
Hey, for all the uninformed, uneducated basketball people in Oklahoma City, yeah, they want Russell. All the people who are informed about basketball and who are knowledgeable, nobody wants him here. Okay, that's only the uninformed. Like, oh, Russell. No, take your ass somewhere else. We've seen enough of you. And this way I can start wearing my Lakers stuff again. So just hurry up and cut him so I can start wearing my
Yeah.
purple and gold again. Because
Oh, I mean, they're going to have to cut him. I mean, there's no way that surely they don't bring him back next year.
you would think. There's just no way, bro. That was a horrible disaster. But the question is, what are you going
That's
to
all
do?
LeBron. That's all LeBron.
That's
could
no
have
doubt.
Buddy Hield.
And we could have had, like our boy, like we talked about from Chicago.
Yeah, Sean DeRozan.
Yeah, DeRozan. You could have had those, either one of those or both, maybe. And you didn't want them.
Yeah,
You
you
wanted
could have
Russell.
both.
You wanted Russell and Carmelo. And let's face it, dude. Carmelo back in the day was a monster when he was at Denver, and then when he went to New York. But he and Kobe used to just people don't even remember the George Karl Nuggets and the Lakers. Boy, they used to Kobe and he used to just Carmelo. They used to just go at it hard. Okay, and now you don't see that anymore. I mean, he's not there.
He's 38 years old.
And people look at him like, oh, lunch meat. Let me go have this quick sandwich. Just kind of like they do with the Thunder defense. Oh, Pachevsky, like lunch meat. Oh, Lindy Waters, lunch meat. Oh, Kretschke, lunch meat. Oh, Roby, lunch meat. That's why they look at our team, man. Oh, I'm eating today. Maladon. Oh, I'm going to grub. I'm going to eat this. So, anyway, now let's go on. Let's talk about the Celtics, our arch rivals.
Oh,
dude.
Well, they're good.
Man, they look good, don't they?
Yeah.
But
they're tough. I mean, they're going to be tough to beat. They're a tough out in the playoffs.
But
I don't know who I would take them against them.
My thing with the Celtics.
Maybe the Bucks.
My thing with the Celtics, they shoot too many threes. They're inconsistent.
Tatum shoots you out of a game.
Tatum
too.
will shoot you out of a game, bro. He doesn't, because you remember what Popovich had to do in the Olympics to say, hey, come sit down, man. What you doing? We're trying to win a gold medal. What you doing? Come sit down. What you doing? So yeah, I don't have the confidence, but they're rolling right now. As long as he's rolling, they rolling. But I agree with you. I don't see them now.
I tell you, another team that's really coming around are the Mavericks.
The Mavericks and Memphis
well.
both.
Yeah, they may play each other in the second round of the playoffs. If I looked at it correctly.
Now the Lakers, don't the Lakers have the Mavericks like this week?
Wednesday night.
Today? Wednesday night. Is it Wednesday?
ESPN.
Oh Lord, dude.
In Dallas.
I don't even know what to think about that one, bro. That's gonna be.
Well, LeBron probably won't play.
Well, he said he's playing.
Oh boy.
He said he's playing. I mean, you can't afford to lose games, Drew. And if he don't play, there's no chance.
And the Spurs are playing good right now.
Yep, and there's no chance if he's not playing. And then you look at Memphis. What are they, 17-2 without Ja? They've won 4 straight. They beat the Bucks. It seems like Bane is a better player without Ja than he is with Ja.
Probably because he probably get a little more rhythm.
Well,
probably
he does.
Stands around and watches Ja. Watches Ja.
Well, they all do. They sit around and watch him. He's dynamic as hell. But, dude, they're 17-2 without your best player. What does that say?
Yeah, means they're deep.
But
coached.
But you look at Phoenix. Look what they're doing without Chris Paul right now. Mm-hmm. And we know.
I think we've seen that Vogel is not the coach.
Yeah.
He's a great coach when you got great talent, but if you ain't got all that talent, he's the reason why he got fired at Indiana, other places.
Yeah, and then when you look at what could be happening in the college landscape, who you could have as a next young, vibrant coach coming up to coach an NBA team like the Lakers, our boy Bill. And,
love to see Bill there.
And what he did this weekend. So let's just jump into that. Let's go ahead and talk about it. I know you want to do it, so let's just go. We're talking about the Final Four. Let's just go on and get it. I went ahead and put it on up there. Dude.
I mean, is it going to be the greatest semifinal ever?
No.
I mean, come on.
No, there's been some great Final Four and semifinals. Now, come on now.
It will be the most watched Final Four in the history of the Final Four.
Bigger than Magic and Bird, I don't know.
Boy, it's going to be right. You got Duke, Carolina, Saturday night.
I understand that.
In the Final Four.
I think that if it's Duke and Kansas,
$5K just to get in the door, lower bowl.
No,
$5,000 to sit lower bowl.
Dude, if Duke and KU are playing in the Final Four, that will be watch TV. The heir apparent coming for the master. That's what that'd be. But I will say your heels.
KU Carolina in that final, it's going to be watch TV.
Yeah, but it won't be as much as Coach K against Self.
No, it won't.
Because
everybody wants Coach K in the final. It's
there's no
Carolina
doubt
against the world right now.
Yeah, it was somebody talking about how the NCAA is rigged. I'm like, it would have been rigged if St. Pete would have got in. Right. That's rigged. They didn't belong there.
I promise you, Duke did not want to see Carolina in that series.
No, they did not want to see Carolina. I agree. Because what did they do? What is it? Duke won the first one, Carolina won the second one, Duke won the third. Is that how it worked?
No, Duke beat Carolina by 23 in the first game.
Right.
And Carolina beat Duke by 20 in the second game.
Right.
This will be the third game.
Also, they did not. I thought they played in the tournament. They didn't play.
No, they both got beat by Virginia Tech.
Ah, that's right. I forgot. Virginia Tech and their Cinderella, that whatever shot they made, the old boy made to get them to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But
beat Miami.
But I will say this: your big boy, Baycott, jeez,
Baycott,
dude, 20 and 22, really? He went 20-22
after the game. Couldn't he? We had to go to the Lithuanian prime minister. We couldn't even get an interview on CBS with Baycott on 20 and 22. I mean, unbelievable.
But Drew, 20 and 22.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even think of somebody who's done that in the Elite Eight.
I mean, Tim Duncan, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That, I mean, to me, he did what Purdue should have done.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't do anything exciting. Take the ball in the hole.
Because Love was what, 2 for 10 from three? Still had 14, and he was dominant, made huge points, but the big boy inside was just unbelievable.
Yeah, Brady. I'll tell you what, Brady Manick he's been a great addition for that team.
I agree.
He made some big shots.
But you know what, though, it's so funny is that he had to transfer.
Yeah.
To get there, because he wouldn't have been on the floor at the University of Oklahoma. He would not have been on the floor.
I tell you what, it's going to be a great game. Spread's 4. That may be too many. That game's going to come down to the wire. It will be tight.
Yeah, I don't
really like it. I think Duke probably gets this, but boy, I tell you what, it'll be a fun game to watch.
But you know what, Drew? The thing I liked about what I'm like about this game, or I don't like about the game, is that it's Hubert Davis's first.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only thing I don't like about it. It's his first time not understanding. I mean, I know he went there when he was at North Carolina. He went to a Final Four, right?
Went to a Final Four, and he was assistant coach in a Final Four with Roy.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that he can.
He played in the Final Four in '91 when they got beat by Kansas.
Yeah.
And then he coached in a couple of them with Roy as assistant coach.
So I'm hoping that he can get it done. But being an assistant coach and head coach are not the same, as you and I both know.
Oh yeah,
and the storyline. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I said the storyline clearly is Coach K coaching his last game for all the marbles.
I mean, is it just too much to ask to beat him in his last game in Cameron and then beat him again in the Final Four? I mean, I was already on top of the world when we knocked him out at Cameron.
Dude, that's a lot.
All the Dukies were in town.
That's a lot. Dude, he had everybody there, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, just had them all rounded up.
You know, because I looked at that, man, and I'm just going, man, what a great game. I mean, North Carolina had it going on all cylinders.
Yeah. And that's their best game of the year by far.
Dude, I'm going to say this, though. Your Heels have been playing fantastic. And, these 3 best games, really, all year, if they played in the tournament. It seems like these last 3. But now on the other side
I looked at it, Matt, they've been an underdog every game but St. Pete. They were underdog at Marquette. They were underdog to UCLA. I mean, every game they've been an underdog except for yesterday.
That's true. And then when you look at poor Nova, God, man.
Oh, man.
What do they have, 5 players?
I feel so bad for that
6
kid.
players? What do they have, 5, 6 left? That's all they got?
Yeah, they're down to some fraternity kids, I think.
I mean, they're just, and for them to gut out that win and do what they did says a huge thing about their players and about their coach and about who they are as a program.
Oh, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? That was one of the guttiest performances ever. Now, Houston did help them, but unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, I've been just watching the tournament. I don't know anybody can beat KU. I don't know that Duke can beat KU if they get by Carolina. KU they got a squad.
Well, they got a
they get it going. Boy, they flipped the switch against Miami.
Didn't they?
Over.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. There's a breaking news thing. Bill Self's can hell of a coach, man. That's breaking news.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What did he say at halftime?
I don't know. Whatever it was. Hey, I've been with him when we've gotten cussed out, so I'm pretty sure he probably cussed them out. But whatever the motivational speech he had, it worked tremendously for his boys. It was unbelievable.
They hit those back-to-back threes, and then Big Boy snatched that rebound, went up and got the three-point play, and
it was over.
It was kiss the baby.
It was over. It was over. And that's like you and I talked about the Big 12 and how good it is. The difference between Texas Tech and Iowa State and KU is KU can score. All three teams are very physical. They all play great defense, but the difference is KU has some athletes who can put the ball into the basket. Seems like that's the difference between them. And poor Nova.
Well, KU's gonna roll the ball out. They're gonna put 75 points on the board.
Yeah, you know that.
So you're gonna have to score 80 to beat them.
Yeah, and the thing is this: I think Villanova's gonna do everything they can because pride at some point, and if the only advantage they're gonna have is that Kansas looks at them and goes, "Okay, we're gonna play Duke or North Carolina in the finals." That's the only hope they got, because if KU is laser focused and they go out and handle their business and they get rest, and then they wait for that dog fight on the other side that's going to happen between UNC, and there's going to be a dog fight.
That's what we were talking about last night is the winner of that Duke-Carolina game. Boy, how do they get up for the championship game?
Easy.
Yeah. Well, if I'm KU, I'm just sitting back licking my chops, waiting for that dog fight to end. And then
I will say this, Drew. I will say that about North Carolina. I will say if they win,
if they beat Duke, it's going to be tough for them to turn it around and beat Kansas.
If Duke beats North Carolina, I don't see there any letdown because now this is his last game.
Yep.
So getting up for it, that is not even remotely. They're laser focused in going 2-0. That's what their lasers are focused on right now, going 2-0.
And Carolina's laser focused in on beating Duke.
That's no question. Hey, put like this. There's going to be a lot of damn blue in the facility.
Oh, man.
There's going to be a lot of blue in the facility.
That's going to be a fun Saturday in New Orleans, man. That's going to be a fun Saturday.
Hey, is it Villanova blue?
Mm-hmm. They're that navy blue, and then KU's that royal
blue. And then North Carolina is that
baby blue.
Is it baby blue or North Carolina blue? Which one is it?
Tar Heel blue, baby blue, the blue.
And by the way, those George you had on the other night, those is nasty. Those are my favorite. And, those are my favorites, bro. Those baby blue 11s are my favorite. I mean, everybody talks about all the shoes. Those 11s, man, those are my favorites. Those without question. And that baby blue is the prettiest. I mean, even though it's in UNC, whatever. Hey, I have a question. How many Dookie players do you think have Jordan 11s in baby blue?
Probably not very many.
But some do.
Did Jordan even let Duke have Jordans? Probably not.
Yeah, they would. I mean, come on now. If you're a sneakerhead, you're a Duke fan, you have some baby blue Jordan 11s. Come on now. Don't you?
Probably. You'd have to have baby blue because I don't think that Jordan even makes a Jordan in that royal blue.
You don't think?
I don't think so. I've never seen any.
Hey, he might make a special pair for Coach K. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, well, he wears those. He wears the Air Force Ones.
Yeah, he does. Well, as he should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, those were the most comfortable shoes ever, dude. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yep. Now, what we're going to do, Drew, we're going to go back and we're going to go over what happened in this Elite Eight. Oh, excuse me. And we're talking about the Elite Eight. You talk about the Arkansas Duke, what Duke did to them.
Just Arkansas couldn't shoot, couldn't score.
It was unbelievable, wasn't it?
I think that, Duke playing Texas Tech 2 days before, they got adjusted to that style of defense. There are a lot of, Arkansas and Texas Tech kind of play that same, up on you type of defense. And I think Duke was prepared for it. And then Arkansas, I think they just blew their wad against Gonzaga.
I agree.
I think that was their game. And Duke was already used to the pressure that they were going to get. And I just think they were prepared for it.
Yeah, I agree. And then that Houston Villanova game, if Houston could hit the side of a barn with a double barrel, geez. What were they, 1 for 20? Was that what they were from three?
Yeah, it was bad.
Now, okay, so we're going to do this now. We're going to talk about the Final Four. How many of these did you have?
I had 2. I had Kansas and Villanova.
I had 3 of the 4. I had Duke, Nova, Kansas, and then I had Kentucky beating your heels.
Yeah.
Actually, I had them beating UCLA.
I had Gonzaga.
Yeah, I knew Gonzaga.
I had Kentucky in the bottom.
Yeah, but I look at this, I go 3 out of 4, bam. And,
bad.
Then I had in one of my brackets, I had Kentucky winning. In my other bracket, I had Villanova actually winning before they got everybody beat up. Now, you can't see this on your screen right now, Drew, but we're talking about the women's. Of course, the Final Four right now is Louisville, Michigan winner against South Carolina, and the NC State UConn against Stanford.
Yeah.
And UConn,
Texas women had some bruisers on their team, didn't they?
Dude, they're physical, man.
Jeez.
And this is sad, Drew, but this is about the only time I watch women's basketball. Is that sad?
Hey, you know what though? I mean to bring this up to you today. I was telling Amelia last night, and we were sitting there watching it, and I was like, the talent difference. The talent difference between the 1 seed and the 8 seed in women's basketball is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
I mean, they made South Carolina made Creighton look like a high school team.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, because
Creighton's best team ever.
Well, they
right?
they popped up a deal on the steel that UConn had been to 16 straight whatever Final Four, something stupid like that or whatever, and it was like the record was 10 by UCLA. And then the third place was Louisiana Tech with like 8 straight or 7 straight, and then it was Tennessee with 6. And I laughed and I said, 3 out of those 4 are women. And UCLA is the only one men's that stood up. There are no other men's that could say they've been to that many in a row. Men's basketball is so much harder. And then I was arguing with someone because, we were talking about, how women could compete with men. And I said, no, girls can compete with boys, but women cannot compete with men. You can't. Yeah. It's the physicality is just too much. They just can't. Yeah. I said, but
in all four 1 seeds are still alive in the women's tournament, right?
Yep. And 3 of the 4 in the men's. And because to me, or 2 of the 3, 2 of the 4. My thing is this: the weakest number 1 seeds were Gonzaga, Baylor, and Arizona, and none of those 3 made it. Those 3 were my weakest. I looked at those 3 and I'm like, none of y'all are number 1 seeds. Everybody falls in love with Gonzaga, like you and I talked about that Chet kid. Save me something. Bro, he ain't KD. Yeah, does he have handles? No. Yes. Can he shoot it? Yes. I was arguing with this kid. He goes, oh, well,
he could use another year in college, honestly.
Yeah, he's not physical, but he ain't.
But he's not going to.
No, he's not. But that's why I'm a believer. And if you go to college, you should go 2 years. You should go NBA. NBA, you should not be allowed to go to NBA out of high school. You go to college for 2 years. After 2 years, but see, the problem is the agents don't want that because they know some of these kids straight out of high school, Drew, they ain't going to the league if they don't go right away. Most of these one-and-done guys don't do nothing.
The NIL deal should help that too. Some of these kids that know that they might be able to sign some BS contract with an agent, and maybe get cut by an NBA team or be in the G League or overseas or something like that. Instead, now you could go to a Carolina or you could go to a Duke or OU or OSU or wherever and sign an NIL deal, take care of your family, put some money in the bank if you had to, right?
Yep.
So,
but Caleb Williams don't care about he don't care about that. He went to USC and got all that money, and and he's still gonna be gone after next year.
Did you see that house that Lincoln Riley is living in?
Yes, crazy.
What does one need 8 fireplaces for in California?
Bro, it gets cool at night. It gets cool at night. It drops down to like 55. It drops down to 55. You got to have that fireplace. And, speaking of that.
That place is unbelievable.
Yes. I wanted to do a fire tonight. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna probably stay at home and do the Thunder game on the app and listen to it and do my after the storm show. After that, talking about the Thunder tonight, and I just look at the Blazers and what I should
Yeah,
have did my keys to the game tonight on this show, but
that screams under,
yes, yes,
under 221 all
and
day.
and speaking of that, here we go with your HuskerDrewPicks.com picks of the day. You got Coastal Carolina +1.
Hey, you watch that game tonight. Coastal Carolina's fun to watch. They go up and down the floor. Their average shot clock time is like 11 seconds.
That's it.
They'll fire it. Yeah, they fire it. They go up and down the floor. They're fun to watch.
So it's going to depend on, if they're
If they're
knocking
making
down
shots.
shots. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Then, of course, you have our Thunder.
The
And
Thunder.
Can't spell Thunder without under. Yeah, we know, 221.
Well, the Blazers are terrible, and OKC can't score. So you would think that that's going to stay under 221 points.
Right. Well, it depends on whether SGA plays. If SGA doesn't play, we'll average 101. We'll score 101 because without him we average around 26, 27 points a quarter. That's what we average without him. So that probably be a good pick with him. Bulls 3 over the Knicks, huh? You taking about 3 and then the over?
The Bulls got a lot of superstars on that team playing at Madison Square Garden. They're going to try to show out.
Yep.
Everybody does when they go to MSG, and I think the Knicks have mailed it in. They're about done for the year. So
Well, I don't know. They came back and beat the Heat.
yeah, but boy, the Heat been struggling ever since that little squabble.
Yeah, you and I talked about that. Jimmy Butler, bro. You go to Chicago, you want out of there, which because Derrick Rose came back and you got a taste of being the man. I get that. You go to Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins, and you're like, yeah, no, these guys, they don't have the same attitude I have. And then, which I think if he went to play for them now with Karl Anthony Towns being where he is now, I think it would have been a different story. Then you turn around
Right.
and then you have him going to Buffalo. Going to Philly, and he's like, I'm out. And I'm done with that. So, but Rockets Spurs, what do you think?
You kind of talked me into this Spurs team. They score a lot of points.
Yeah,
The
they do.
Rockets, all they do is Rockets don't play any defense.
None.
Zero.
None.
So I don't think 234 will be enough. I think that goes over. It might go over pretty easy.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at the Heat -13 over the Kings, bro. God dang, Drew.
Kings are just terrible. They're terrible.
They are awful, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they beat us.
mean,
They beat the Thunder.
the Heat need to put one together too. The Heat need to win a game.
They got
I
to
mean,
get
play
out of
well.
this funk that they're in because they're playing terrible. And
So hopefully they heal up a little bit. That's probably my least favorite of all those picks. But I would I definitely like the Rockets Spurs over. That's probably my favorite.
yeah, it's I'm excited, but dude. Like I said, this is the best time of year for me for sports because you got NBA where it matters, the games matter. Then you have the the Final Four, and then of course men's, women's, and the NIT. So this is when, to me, basketball and sports is at its best. You got football coming up with the draft, so everybody's
Got
excited
opening
about
day
what's
coming
happening.
up.
You got opening day in baseball, and I was talking about soccer earlier, talking about how I believe soccer will take baseball over within the next 10 years because people want because people want things to happen. Baseball is just slow. It's just slow, and kids want fast. That's why they go football.
They need to have like a symposium on the rules of soccer because I don't know the rules honestly.
Well, that's what I was talking about, Drew.
Penalty shots and I like the athleticism, but honestly, I don't know the rules. So I think maybe we could school people in the rules a little more somehow. If that makes any sense. Do you know all the rules to hockey?
You know that this is the deal, though. Soccer is a fun sport, bro, and I like it. And
It looks fun.
Well, the thing is, this is like tonight is huge because, or Wednesday, we have Costa Rica, and they have to beat us by.
They can't get beat by 6 goals or something.
Yep, can't get beat by 6, so that's important. And Pulisic has just been amazing. You look at the World Cup standings. For our qualifying, Canada has 28. We have 25. Mexico 25. But it's weird though. I was talking about this earlier. In the way that they do it, they do wins, draws, losses instead of wins, losses, draws like we do. Wins, losses, ties. they do draws in
Right.
the middle because they have so many. But I think once people get the rules down more and understand what it is and understand how they attack. But what I was saying, Drew, is that more and more kids, athletic kids, are starting to play soccer. They're not playing baseball as much, and they're not playing football as much because more and more parents aren't allowing them.
Injuries.
Yes, and aren't
Yep.
allowing their kids to play. So these kids are athletic. What are they going to do? Oh, you go play soccer, and I'm like, well, they hit the ball with their head. So, and I think that once that
Well,
comes
and another
out,
thing is baseball has just completely moved out of the inner city too.
yes,
I
it
mean,
has.
Used to be you had inner city kids played baseball. Now they hardly. I mean, these fields you don't see nice fields on the inner city anymore. I mean, it's just kind of. I don't know when that shift started happening. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, but it's definitely hurt the game.
Well, I think that more and more kids that like I said, baseball is just slower. You get out there and you're playing. Drew. They play a lot of games at an early age.
Yeah.
They play a lot of games, man.
Yep.
And it
Kids
seems like it burns them
arms
out.
Yep.
It's kind of like women's tennis. You see a lot of these women. They're slowly fading out on us, Drew.
Yeah, I mean the lifespan of a women's professional tennis player or men's professional tennis. Imagine that's probably 5-6 years from the time you turn pro.
Yeah, women are retiring at 24. 20.
That's what makes Nadal and
Federer.
oh boy, just amazing.
Yep. And Serena on the other side, and Venus. And
so have you talked about Will? Have you talked about Will Smith today?
No, I was going to try to avoid it. This is how I feel about it. But Drew,
dude, he lost it. I mean, is that the first time? I think maybe he was still in character.
This is that's what a lot of people said. He was still in character, dude. Chris, you have to think about the joke and how it's going to play. Okay?
Oh
yeah. And Jada is clearly sensitive about it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some things that in the black community you can't talk about. You can't talk about somebody's mama. You can't talk about their kids. I heard somebody
say that earlier.
And you can't talk about their wife. You can't do it.
Right.
But then on the other side of that, there's 3 things that you definitely can't do. You can't call me the N-word. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You definitely can't spit on me. And you can't slap me.
Yeah.
Okay? Those are 3 things. Hit me, punch me, stab me, shoot me.
Don't slap me.
Don't slap me. And what people don't understand is back in the day, because younger kids don't understand what it was like with the racism part. They don't get it. Back then, it's like, oh, boy, I'd slap and they slap you. A white person would slap you. Okay, most people don't get that. So they call it the N-word, you spit on them, and you slap them. So those are 3 things you didn't do. But most people are young enough, and they have no idea what racism is. They don't get it. They have no idea what it's like when you can't go somewhere because of the color of your skin. 0 idea. Okay. Thank God we're removed.
Thank God
Yes, thank God we're removed from that, because I tell you, I was in the
for the most part.
Well, but no, Drew, it's we're removed. Because put it like this, there's parts in the South that I can at least go into now. I couldn't go in today. I mean, back then.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you a quick story. I'm coming out of Woodward, Oklahoma. And this is when I was doing my show, Inside High School Sports. You remember when I was doing my TV show.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm driving back from Woodward. It's dusk. I get pulled over by the highway patrol. Okay? Remember I had my Lincoln, I had my sweet-ass Lincoln Town car with my velour top, 4-wheel, 4-double. Anyway, I'm cruising. Guy pulls me over. His exact words to me, well, hey, boy, it's getting dark over here, this is a little late for your kind to be out this far.
Wow.
Pulls my license and says, oh, are you Matt Clark that played basketball at Oklahoma State? Yes, sir, I am. He goes, well, son, let me explain something to you. This is the wrong place for you to be caught out here in Western Oklahoma this late at night. We still have an after dusk rule. He said, so I'm going to call ahead and tell them on the way I'm in trouble so you get completely out of this part. He said, so you just floor it and you take off. And you floor it. And I'll let everybody know you can go. This was 96.
96.
Yeah.
Wow.
And guess what I did? Bing!
Floored it.
I was gone, okay? I was gone. But he told me that. We still have that rule in effect out here. Wow. So, but anyway, dude, I understand jokes, but Chris, that was you were out of place. You were out of place.
But the funny thought is that Will was laughing about it until he looked over at his wife.
That's his wife.
And then he had to she was like, you better do something.
That's exactly how she looked at it. But you know what, Jada? Hey, you threw my man under the bus on the national in front of the world telling me you were doing some other dude. You threw him under the bus. What you expect?
You know what? I think that had a lot to do with it too. He was already on edge.
Already.
Now he had to go. Now he had to do something.
But dude, God, he slapped him and then walked back. I was like, wow. I mean,
did you see the deal? Did you see Stephen A's interview where he said he was talking about Will Smith. He goes, I can't believe brother didn't get his ass whipped.
Thank you.
With all the boys Chris Rock had with him.
I know, right? I was like, dude, wow. I mean, I'm sorry you slapped me, dude. We going down. We're throwing fists, man. Sorry.
Hey,
you slapped me. We throwing fists.
Tip of the cap to Chris Rock for finishing the show. I
wow.
mean, if it's me, I'd have been. Number one, we're throwing hands.
We're throwing.
Number two, I'm walking off the stage.
Drew, we throwing. You just slapped me. We throwing.
Yeah, I'm tackling you. I'm hoping for a backup.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. You better beat. Excuse my language, right? You better beat my black ass because we fighting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right now.
Right now. But anyway, all right, bro.
Unbelievable.
Hey,
right,
I love you, man. Hey, be safe.
You,
tell the family hello. And that was
Let's do Friday afternoon, Final Four edition.
Yeah, we will. We will. Remember, we have to do it a little early because I got to be at the gym at 2. So we'll have an early edition of the show.
Do a little lunchtime.
Yeah, we'll do a little lunchtime. We can do that. Anyway, brother, appreciate you. Tell the missus and the family hello. Give them kisses for me.
Will do.
All right, that was my boy Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. You can go to his website and look at it and check it out. And I want everybody to be safe. Stay out of trouble today. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Hey, and go play some golf if you can. Peace out.